Good morning, students. Welcome to my lecture. Today I am going to discuss about foundations of object model. Before discussing about foundation of object model, let me recap for 10 minutes previous class topics. In previous class, we have discussed about evaluation of object model. Let us see it. Evaluation of object model. Here I'm going to explain about generations of the languages. Here languages means I'm talking about high level languages, generation of high level language. I'm not talking about low level language or all those things. I'm talking about only high level languages. Let us see generations of high level languages. First generation high level language. This generation high level language is used to solve only mathematical problems only. It will solve only mathematical problems. For example, if you want to find out the area of the circle, you will use this formula: area equal to pi r square, pi into r into r. You will write a program, and using this formula you will calculate the area of the circle. That means here only mathematical expressions, you are using a mathematical expression. So these languages, the languages which belongs to the first generation will solve only mathematical problems. Next, notation of the programming language of the first generation, or it will use variables concept, it will use expressions, it will use unconditional and conditional statements. These first generation languages are used to solve only mathematical problems only it can solve. Next, notation of the programming languages are variables, it will use variables concept, expressions, unconditional and conditional statements like if statement, if else statement, all those things. And the languages that belong to the first generation are, you need to remember all these languages. Next, coming to topology. Topology means, you know that every programming language will have some building blocks, right? Each and every programming language will have some basic building blocks. Here topology means physical connection of building blocks. Physical connection of building blocks. What is meant by topology? Topology describes or it represents a physical connection of building blocks of the programming languages. In programming languages, how these building blocks are connected together. This is called topology. Let us see topology of first generation language. See the topology of first generation language. It will use some subprograms. See the topology of first generation language. It will use some subprograms. Subprogram must be denoted like this. Rectangle and then just this is a document, something document shape. Okay. Now see here, each and every subprograms will be connected to the data. That means see the arrow mark. Each and every program is connected to the data. That means this data is global data. This data is global data where every subprogram, each and every subprogram can access the data. Each and every subprogram can modify the data. Okay, this is the topology of the first generation language. See here, if there is any error, in this subprogram, then whole system will affect. This is the disadvantage of first generation language. If there is any error in any subprogram, then whole system will be affected. This is the first generation languages. Again, see the major feature of first generation language is it is used to solve only mathematical problems. Hope you understood. Let us see second generation language. This is the second generation languages. First, let us see major features. Major features of second generation language are blocks and subprograms. Major features of second generation language: blocks and subprograms. These are the major features of second generation language. Coming to the notation of programming language, the concepts used are data types, statement, files, pointers, list, data structures, parameters, passing mechanism. Remember, in second generation languages only most of the fundamental concepts are introduced. See, these are all fundamental concepts, right? Data types, statements, files, pointers, list, data structures, parameter passing mechanisms. All these are fundamental concepts. So, in second generation language only most of the fundamental concepts are introduced. These are the languages. You need to remember all these languages. See, Lisp means list processing. Lisp, L-I-S-P. List processing. Here, pointers are introduced. In this language, pointers are introduced. Pointers are introduced. Let us see topology of second generation language. Topology means physical connection of building blocks of these language. Let us see the topology of a second generation language. See here, every subprogram. What is this? See here. What is this arrow mark denotes? This is a global data. See, every subprogram can access the data. Every subprogram can access the data. Data is global. See here. This is the global data. Each and every subprogram can access the global data. It can modify the data. It can access and it can modify. It can manipulate the data. Every subprogram can access the data. And see here, subprograms contain sub-subprograms. See here. See, in rectangle, again you have some rectangle symbols, right? What it mean? In second generation, every subprogram will have sub-subprograms. And this disadvantage is it cannot handle large data. If data is large, these languages will not be suitable. If data is large, these languages are not suitable. Let us see third generation language. In third generation language, from third generation language only modularity concept was introduced. Modularity and structured programming, where it follows some algorithmic approach. See, major features of third generation. From third generation language only modularity concept was introduced. Structured programming. It will follow structured programming means it will follow some algorithmic approach. Next, notations of programming languages. Control structures. It will use control structures and classes were introduced in third generation. Control structures means selection statements like if, switch, and repetition statements like for loop, while loop, do while, unconditional statements, return, go to, all those things. It depends upon the languages, okay? Depend upon the language. Next, let us see topology. Topology of third generation language. See here. You can see some dotted lines. What it represents? It represents a module. This is a module. This is a module 1. Module 1. See here again this dot. See here dots. This represents module 2. This is module 2. And this represents another module. Module 3. So you can compile the module separately. you can execute separately. That means you can implement the parts of the system separately, so independently. You can execute the modules means here in third generation. I'm talking about third generation. Module means group of subprograms. Modules means in third generation. I'm talking about third generation. Module means group of subprograms. Now you can execute the modules separately. You can compile the modules separately. That means you can develop the system parts separately. Within the same time, you can develop the system parts separately. This is the advantage of third generation language. It can handle large data. It can handle large data. If data is large, it can handle. But it cannot handle complex data. It cannot handle complex data. Remember that. It can handle large data, but it cannot handle the complex data. These are the languages. You need to remember all these languages. Coming to fourth generation language. Here modularity. Major feature is modularity. Notation of programming language is low level access. The languages that use the languages that belongs to fourth generation language are C, Fortran 77, SQL, structured query language. Here in fourth generation, these languages can handle large data but cannot handle complex data. Cannot handle complex data. Cannot handle complex data. Coming to fifth generation language, here slowly the object oriented concepts were introduced. Object oriented concepts. Object oriented concepts are slowly introduced. See, the concepts like object, classes, modularity, abstraction, decomposition, already we have seen all those things, right? What is decomposition? What is abstraction? What is modularity? What are objects? We have already seen it. So here in fifth generation only object oriented concepts are slowly introduced. Let us see the notation. Notation is strong typing. About strong typing, dynamic typing, weak typing, you will learn in minor elements. At that time, you can learn in depth. Now, let us see what is meant by strong typing. Strong typing means it cannot change one data type to another data type. Again, I am repeating. Strong typing means it cannot change one data type into another data type. The language will follow some strict rules. It is called strong typing. Next, data security. There is abstraction and all these concepts, right? So data is very secure. And exceptional handling was introduced in fifth generation language. See here, languages are small talk. This small talk is purely object-oriented language. This is purely object-oriented language. But unfortunately, it is not popular language. Commercially, this is not a popular language. This is not a popular language. But small talk is a purely object-oriented language. Next, C++. It is derived from Simula. C and Simula. Next, ADA. This is object-oriented language. FL. These are the languages. And these languages can handle complex data. It can handle complex data. These fifth generation languages can handle complex data. Let us see sixth generation language. In sixth generation language, major features are frameworks. Up to now, we have seen the languages without frameworks. So if you are using the language without frameworks, you need to write a program. You need to write some set of instructions, some large amount of lines. You need to write some set of program. Sorry, set of instructions, nothing but program. And then you need to compile it. And that you need to execute it. Right? If you are writing a program with a language which does not have frameworks, if you are writing a program by using a language which does not have frameworks, you need to write some large amount of some large code, right? Large code, you have to write some large code. You need to compile it and you need to execute it. But if you are using a programming language with frameworks, if you are using a programming language with frameworks, no need to write all the set of codes, set of lines. Everything framework will do. I'm sorry. Everything framework will do. Just write a simple method. Just write a simple method. For example, see here, Django framework. Django is a framework in Python. Django is a framework in Python where you can develop web-based applications. Using Django framework in Python, you can develop web-based application. Okay, this is a framework. What is the use of it? You no need to write any code. For example, just like opening port, no need to write code for opening port. For HTTP communication, no need to write code for HTTP communication. For database connection, no need to write for database connection. For authentication, just like login, all those things. Authentication, no need to write code for authentication. Just write simple method and the code related to all these things will be handled by framework. No need to write any code. Just write simple method. All the code which you want will be handled by the frameworks only. This is the advantage of frameworks. Now let us see, today's topic is foundations of object model. Listen carefully. Foundations of object model. Before discussing about foundation of object model, let us see the events. The events that led to object model. Which events led to object model? Before that, I need to question you. Why you are using object oriented decomposition? Students, anyone can answer. Who knows the question can answer. Why we are using object oriented decomposition? This is my question. Students, anyone can answer. Unmute yourself and answer. Students, please respond. Anyone? Those who know the answer. Why we are using object oriented decomposition? Students? Here is my question. Why we are using object oriented decomposition? Roll number 6. Roll number 6.
Yes, ma'am.
Why we are using object oriented decomposition?
In order to simplify the complex system, we decompose it.
Yes, okay. Okay. See, why we are using object oriented decomposition is the algorithmic approach cannot handle complex data. It can handle only limited data, limited complexity of data. It cannot handle complex data. In order to handle complex data, we are going to object oriented decomposition. This is the answer. Very good, Navya. Now, let us see the events that led to object-oriented model. First event. Listen carefully, I will explain slowly. First one is advancements in computer architecture. Here, the computer architecture field This is the field which is changing, fast changing field. See again, see here, advancements in computer architecture. This computer architecture field is a fast changing field in engineering history. In engineering history, this is a fastest changing field, computer architecture. Due to the advancements in the computer architecture, this led to the object model. See, what is the advantages in advancements of computer architecture? Better performance. To get better performance, better error detection, and better execution. Why there are advancements in computer architecture, right? Why there are advancements? What is the advantage of these advancements in computer architecture? See, better performance. You can get better performance, and you can get better error detection, and you can get better execution, fast execution. This is the advantages of advancements in the computer architecture. Due to these advancements in computer architecture, this led to the object model. This is the one of the fastest changing fields in engineering history. Computer architecture is one of the fastest changing fields in engineering history. Now let us see second one, which led to the object model. This is the important thing which led to the object model. Advancements in programming languages. Due to the advancements in programming languages, this led to the object model. See, first language where classes were introduced. See, first language where classes concepts were introduced is Simula 67. This is the language where classes were introduced. Later, object oriented concepts, later object oriented concepts were added to C, where C++ is, which forms C++. The object oriented concepts were added to the C, which led to C++, Java, so on. Okay. First language where classes were introduced is Simula 67. Later, by adding object oriented concepts to C, this led to C++, Java, etc. So, due to the advancements in programming languages like C, C++, all those things, due to the advancements of programming languages, this led to the object model. Next, third one, advancements in programming methodologies. Due to the advancements in programming methodologies, this led to the object model. Advancements in programming methodologies. Already I have discussed what is meant by methodology. Can anyone answer my question? What is meant by methodologies? Number 30. What is meant by methodologies? Number 17.
Yes, ma'am.
What is meant by methodology?
Collection of methods.
Yes, very good. Methodology means collection of methods. What is meant by method? 17. Number 17, what is meant by method?
Yes, ma'am.
What is meant by method? This is just a procedure.
Okay, ma'am.
Method is nothing but it is a procedure to generate a model. Okay, it is just a procedure. It contains some set of instructions or statements, step by step procedure, something like that. Model. Method. Now coming to methodologies. Methodologies means collection of methods which you can apply across the software development process. Okay. Now, due to the advancements in programming methodologies, this led to object model. There are advancements in programming methodologies like structured programming, next object oriented programming, next modular programming, extreme programming, generic programming, agile programming. So there are many advancements, there are many methodologies. So due to the advancements of methodologies, this led to the object model. Again, I am repeating, methodologies are structured programming, modular programming, object-oriented programming, generic programming, extreme programming, agile programming. So there are many methods. Due to the advancements in these methodologies, this led to the object model. Now, fourth one, advancements in database model. Advancements in database models. Due to the advance, what is database? Which is a collection of information where you can access the information, you can manage the data. Okay, large amount of data is stored in database, right? There are advancements in database technology and database models. Due to the advancements in these database models, this led to the object model. All these advancements in computer architecture, advancements in programming languages, advancements in programming methodologies, advancements in database models, all this led to the object model. Fifth one, research in artificial intelligence. Research in artificial intelligence led to the object model, which led to the object model. Research in artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, sometimes also called as mission intelligence. It is also called as, sometimes it is also called as mission intelligence, where mission is programmed to just think like human beings. How human beings will think, just like that it will mimic the human actions also. This mission is programmed. A mission will be programmed. That mission can think like human beings think. It can act like human beings act. It is called artificial intelligence. So there is a lot of research in artificial intelligence fields. Okay, there are a lot of research like robotics, like Internet of Things, in health field, all those things. There is a lot of research in artificial intelligence. Due to this research in artificial intelligence, this led to the object model. Once again, see which events have led to the object model. Had led to the object model: advancements in architecture, advancements in programming languages, advancements in programming methodologies, advancements in database models, research in artificial intelligence. All this led to the object model. All these events led to the object model. Let us see the foundations of object model. The foundations of object model are, first foundation is object oriented analysis. Object oriented analysis. Next one is object oriented design. Next one is object oriented programming. Again, see the foundations of object model. The foundations of object model are object oriented analysis. Next, object oriented design, object oriented programming. Let us see one by one. Here is my question. Already we have discussed about analysis, design, all those things. In analysis phase, what we are going to do? In analysis phase, number 30, roll number 30, Sai Srikar, roll number 30. What you are going to do in analysis phase? Already I have discussed lot of times, many times. I have discussed many times. What is meant by analysis, or what you are going to do in analysis phase? Answer my question. Next, number 2, roll number 2. Roll number 2. Roll number 43. Number 47. Please answer my question, whether you are listening or not. Number 11. Roll number 11. Number 11. Roll number 11. Number 12. Answer my question, Tanmay. Roll number 11. Okay, number 12. We gather and analyze the requirements of the system. Yes, first point is we will examine the requirements. We will examine the system and we will gather all the requirements of the system. Next. Yes, roll number 6, Navya. Yes, we are going to identify the classes. See, many times I have discussed in analysis phase what you are going to do. Yes, you are going to examine. Dharani have answered like this. We gather and analyze the requirements of the system. Yes, we will examine the system and we will analyze. We will gather all the requirements of the system. Next, Navya have answered like this. Identify classes, objects that form complex system and relation between them. Yes, it is the correct answer. We are going to analyze the problem domain. We are going to collect all the requirements of the system. And next, we are going to identify the classes. We are going to identify the objects and relation between the classes and relation between the objects. This is what we are doing in analysis phase. Very good. Let us see it. Now let us see each method. First one is object oriented analysis. In analysis phase, we are going to examine software developer. What he will do? He will examine the system. Examine the system. Next, analyze problem domain. Problem domain. Next, gather all the requirements. First analyze the problem domain, examine the system, and then gather all the requirements. And then identify classes, identify objects that form a system, and then identify the relation between objects. There will be relation between objects, right? Each and every object must communicate with each other. Then only the system will work. If objects are not communicating, then how system will work? So you need to identify the relation between the objects. You need to identify the classes and the relation between the classes. So this is a method. Object-oriented analysis is a method which helps you to examine the system, which helps you to analyze the problem domain, which helps you to gather all the requirements, which helps you to identify the classes, identify the objects, identify the relation between the objects, identify the relation between the classes. Once again, see, object-oriented analysis is a method. In analysis phase, what you are going to do? See the PPT. I have written. Please write running notes also. Please maintain running notes also. In analysis phase, examine the system, analyze the problem domain, gather all the requirements, identify the classes, identify the objects, and identify the relation between the classes, identify the relation between the objects. This is what you are going to do. Now let us see object-oriented design. Object-oriented design. In design phase, what we are going to do? What developer will do? Anyone can answer. In design phase, please unmute yourself and answer my question. In design phase, what we are going to do? Anyone can answer. Please answer my question. Unmute yourself and you can answer my question. In design phase, what software developer will do, or what you are going to do? This is my question. No one is answering my question. In design phase, see, in analysis phase, you will get some product, right? In analysis phase, you will get some product. That product or output, something. That product and or output will serve as model for designing phase. In designing phase, what you are doing? You are modeling. In design phase, you are modeling. That means you are modeling some new structure. Structure means some diagrammatic representation of the components and overall system. That means system architecture. You will design system architecture. Okay, in design phase, what you are going to do after analyzing the output of the analysis phase will serve as model for the design phase. After analysis, what you are going to do? You need to design a model. What you are going to design? You are going to design a system architecture so that it helps you to analyze, or it helps you to know What are the components in the system? Okay, what is the use of this architecture? What is the use of the modeling? Why you need to draw all this diagrammatic format? Why can't you implement directly? Why? Because you need to know what are the components of the system. What are the components of the system? How those components are connected and how those components will behave. Behave means function. How those components will behave, you need to know. Before implementing the system, you need to know, or client also should know what you are developing. So if you are showing in some diagrammatic format, then the client can understand what you are developing, what are the components that you are using, or what are the components that you are going to develop. What is the relation between them? What is the what functionalities does it have? How it will behave? Okay, client can understand it. Okay, directly you can implement directly, but client should understand, right? And as a software developer, you should also know what are the components you are developing. What is the relation between them? How they are connected? What is the functionality or what is the behavior of the components? You need to know that. You need to know, right? You need to know all those things. So you need to design a model. You need to design a system architecture. In design phase, you are going to design a system architecture. I hope you understood. Now, coming to object-oriented programming, see here, in design phase, you have modeled something, right? Some new structure. You have modeled some new structure. That will be served as a blueprint. Blueprint for implementing the product of the design phase. What is the product of the design phase? Some new structure you have designed, system architecture, process architecture. You have designed some architecture that will be served as a blueprint for the next phase. For the next phase means implementation, where you are going to implement the physical parts of the system or software. You are going to implement that. Software, you are going to implement that system. You are going to implement the system. That will serve as a blueprint. The output of the design phase will serve as a blueprint for next phase. What is the next phase? Implementation phase. Now, to implement the system, you need to implement the system, right? You have analyzed the system. You have designed some model. Now, what is the task remaining for you as a software developer? You need to implement the system. You need to write some code. To write a code, you need to learn some programming languages. You need to learn some programming languages. Why you need to learn the programming language? Because the system cannot do anything without instructing. Someone has to instruct the system. Okay, someone has to instruct the system. System alone cannot perform anything. So you must write some set of instructions. What are set of instructions? Programs. You need to write the program and it will generate some output. Programming is nothing. Programming means instructing the system, the way of instructing the system. What is meant by instructions? Which tells system or computer, which tells computer to perform an action. You will write some set of instructions in a program by using a programming language. You need to learn the programming languages. So writing a program, there are no set of rules. Just you need lot of practice and you need lot of creativity to write a program. There are no set of rules. It requires lot of creativity. You need to practice a lot. Okay. Now let us see object-oriented programming. These object-oriented programming languages, you can implement the complex system. Using object-oriented programming languages like C++, Java, Python, all those things, etc., you can implement the complex system. Now, what are the features of the object-oriented programming language? Classes, objects. Next, principles. What are the four main principles? What are the four principles of OOP, object-oriented programming? Abstraction. Already we have discussed abstraction. Encapsulation. Already we have discussed encapsulation. Next, polymorphism. Polymorphism. Next, inheritance. These are the four main principles of programming, object-oriented programming language. What is meant by abstraction? Showing only necessary details while hiding all inner details. Abstraction means it will show only necessary details. All the implementation details are hidden from the client or user. Okay, it is an outer view of the object from the users. Okay, not only client, from the users. So abstraction is an outer view of an object. Next, encapsulation. These are the concepts of object-oriented programming. What is encapsulation? Wrapping up the data and operations into single unit. What is that single unit? Class. Class is a user-defined data type which will wrap all the data. It will protect the data and operations. Okay. You will use classes. Next, inheritance. Inheritance. What is inheritance? An object of one class. See, A and B are classes. Here, see here. The object of one class, the object of B, is acquiring all the properties of object of class A. That means using the object B, you can access the methods of object A. Okay, this is called inheritance. Objects of one class will acquire all the properties of objects of another class. That means, see here example, using an object of B, you can access all the methods of object A, class A. Okay. That means all these methods are visible to class B. This is called inheritance. Next, polymorphism. Polymorphism. What is meant by polymorphism? Taking many forms. For example, see, you are going to a shopping mall. For example, just an example. You are going to a shopping mall. In shopping mall, you are treated as a customer, right? In shopping mall, you are treated as a customer. You are going to a college. In college, you are treated as a student. You are traveling in a bus. In bus, you are treated as a passenger. Okay. In shopping mall, same person, right? Same person. In shopping mall, you are treated as a customer. Next, in college, you are treated as a student. Next, while traveling in a bus, you are treated as a passenger. That means same person is exhibiting different behavior. This is called polymorphism. Poly means many. Morph means forms. Okay. Here same method will exhibit different behaviors. Okay. It is called polymorphism. If a language does not have these features, then it is not an object-oriented programming language. Only object-oriented programming language, using object-oriented programming language only, you can implement the complex system. The object-oriented programming languages will have the concepts like abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism. A programming language that does not have these concepts is not considered as an object-oriented programming language. Okay, I hope you understood. Any queries? Any doubts? Please respond if there are any doubts. If there are any doubts, please respond. Okay. Next class, we will discuss about major elements of object model. Okay, thank you. Ma'am, Pranita ma'am, you can come. 10 minutes is there. Students, if there are any doubts, please respond. In next class, I will discuss about major elements. Up to now, we have discussed about foundations of object model and events that driven to the object model and foundations of object model. Events that have driven to the object model are advancements in computer architecture, advancements in programming languages, advancements in programming methodologies, advancements in database models, research in artificial intelligence. Up to now, we have discussed about this. Due to these advancements, which these led to the object model. Advancements in architecture has led to the object model. Advancements in programming language has led to the object model. Advancements in programming methodologies has led to the object model. Advancements in database models has led to the object model. Research in artificial intelligence has led to the object model. Up to now, we have seen this, and we have seen object-oriented analysis. In analysis phase, what we are going to do? We have seen that. Object-oriented design. These are methods. Object-oriented analysis is a method. Object-oriented design is a method. We have seen what you are going to do in analysis phase, what you are going to do in design phase, and object-oriented programming. I hope you understood. If there are any doubts, please respond. No one is responding. Okay, I hope you understood it. Please go through the materials and PPTs I have uploaded in Moodle. I also messaged in your WhatsApp group also. Please go through the material and the textbook also. Please read the textbook. If there are any doubts, you can call me at any time. Okay, thank you. Madam? Pranita ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I am here itself.
Okay, ma'am.